by way of hostility. Them overthrow the government through war and all that stuff. Because communist leaders pride themselves on propaganda. One of the most effective tools that a communist government has is their propaganda machine, their ability to sell falsehood to the people. And I personally believe that the PNP is fundamentally connected to communism in their core belief. They will mask it under the disguise of democratic socialism and all that sort of name. But if you drill into the PNP core, you'll find communism right there. And they don't believe in election. Michael P.J. Patterson told us years ago, and I think he said this on a political platform to Eddie Siaga, that, yeah, we can run country, but we can't win election. I think there was some admission of the sort. Can't quote it verbatim, but there was some level of admission there. But the truth is just propaganda. And when they go out there and they go on these platforms, Kizzy, and they keep repeating corruption, this thing, what do you think is going to happen? Samara, that's what's going to happen. Nathaniel, they're going to repeat it over and over and over and over until it becomes a part of the psyche. But when you hear the comrades, especially those on Facebook and on Twitter here and on TikTok, on social media in general, when you hear them talk about corruption, you try your best to ask them one thing. Give me an example. And they can't.
You see what? I see Juicy Saji, somebody in the comments is asking, which country don't like handouts? This is the exact same mentality that put us in the position that we are in. Because how can you ask what country don't like handouts? There's nobody in this country or no other country that if somebody giving them something, they're not going to take it. But what about working for what you want? Getting up off your behind
you can't make it become a policy.
Work for what you want. It's different from when somebody is giving you something, it's different from you going out there, and different from handout. Handout is when you sit down and live off of people to survive. Live off of the government, whereby if the government don't feed you, you don't eat. That is different. PNP have a mentality where they believe in handout.
Morning.
Let's talk about okay, Bradley, you speak. Sorry, let you speak.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Good morning. You know, me just buck up on that thing here. Me just love it. And I was wondering how long we all group up like this to attack them back or counter attack, because in the history of this country, every time Jamaica Labour Party in power, they attack our leaders. And it's the only way they can win, to attack the leader and try to get rid of the leader when they do good. And when you pass one PMP office, it's full of people every day, right through the day. So they don't think about work. We have to work and build the country. I mean, which part of the country I go too far and they go too good. They run too.
Bradley,
yeah.
You said that and kids are coming to you. But Bradley, listen. When you listen, and I'm trying to find it, I don't know if anybody has it and can play it. I'm going to find it. It's posted on my TikTok page. So if anybody have a second phone and can play it, it's fine. It's where the Prime Minister of Jamaica was at one of the breakout sessions at the UN just a couple of days ago. And he was asked to explain some of the things that Jamaica would have done to really build out the country's economy and to really strengthen our position as a global leader. Because, and I was saying to you before you guys came on, that I find it difficult, Kizzy, because how is it that these international organizations can see Jamaica, as a man said, quoting, a beacon of hope for other countries? How is it that these institutions, I'm talking about global institutions, can see Jamaica in that light? Other countries can applaud Jamaica for the direction in which they have driven this country and for the solid foundation that we have laid. Why is it that these countries can see it? But yet Jamaicans responding to a poll question is telling you 40% that the country is going in the wrong direction. So I want to challenge folks, and if you find any of them, bring them come. I want to challenge any independent PNP or no P who is of the view that Jamaica is going in the wrong direction to come and tell us, explain to us on what basis do you come to such conclusion. Is it on the basis of crime? Is it on the economy? Is it on corruption? Is it on development? What is it? Social program? What is it? Tell me how you
won't get an
arrive
answer.
that conclusion.
Promise you.
You
Promise you,
can't
you will not
answer.
get an answer, Choppa. I did the same thing on my platform. I asked a question. That's Bradley needs to mute if you're not speaking. I asked a question on my platform. Angel, you're not muted. Oh, what is it? If you believe the country is going in the wrong direction or the right direction, tell me why. So if it's the wrong direction, tell me why. If it's the right direction, tell me why. And then we'll talk about it. And
Yes.
absolutely not one person has responded to me to say, I keep getting so many messages, and all the messages are just from the JLP telling me, yes, we're going in the right direction, big up Jamaica, whatever. That's all I'm getting. I'm yet to see all the PMP that commented on my other videos and had so much to say. I'm yet to see one of them come back and tell me why Jamaica is going in the wrong direction. I asked another question. The other question I asked was, what is the plan that Mark Golding has for Jamaica, and how does he plan to do it? And I'm still yet to get a response. So it's obvious to me that PNP, they don't have any plan, and all they want to do is, as you said, talk about corruption.
Thank you.
And give handouts.
Sorry to cut you guys. Sorry to cut you guys. I'm only gonna play the video for you guys.
Go
I
ahead.
have a short window to do
Go ahead
it.
and play it.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to do it now before I get back to work.
Play it for me, please.
Introduce you to one of the leading voices in the global conversation on sustainable
Leading voices.
economic resilience, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honourable Andrew Holness. You've had a long history now of really struggling to put things back in order in your country. You've succeeded in reducing your debt ratios by half. Unemployment has come down to levels. Inflation has come down. So successes. Tell us a little bit about how you were able to do that. Well, firstly, it's the building of social and political consensus. That's absolutely important. And that starts with the country taking responsibility. We have to put our house in order. And then we have to strike global and international partnerships. We struck a very good partnership with the IMF and the World Bank. And we focused on a development program which was sponsored by both the IMF and the World Bank. And then the government committed to a fiscal plan and stuck to it. Clearly, the COVID pandemic would have set us back. But within the fiscal program, we built in resilience. So we ensured that we respond when and we were able to respond to the COVID pandemic and the subsequent shocks that followed, the supply side shocks, supply chain shocks, the energy shocks. And then recently we had another shock, which was Hurricane Beryl. And we were able to respond to that. Jamaica could be cited as an example of a country that didn't take fiscal risk, and took the necessary steps to build resilience in its economy to be able to respond to unexpected crises. How do we get the economy to grow rapidly to the level of
Angel, your background really loud and we're not hearing it clearly. We keep hearing the door closing and opening.
Yeah, it's a little noisy.
It's not streaming
A
right.
little noisy. We have
Yeah.
to wheel and come again on that one, Angel. But thank you though. But it's a little distorting. We can't hear it clearly, and it's very important. So I'm gonna try to cue it up on a bigger laptop or something and see if we can play it. Because it's important for persons to hear it. And it's not
Good
even
morning.
just yeah, go ahead,
Good
William.
morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Pretty good,
You know,
sir.
Choppa, when you have fed our people on a diet of ray and chaka government, right? False promises, false hope. It's a level of indoctrination, you know. And Mark Golding knows exactly the psyche of some of the people that we have in our country. When you can go irresponsibly promise to hand out $40 billion. A lot of persons sitting down waiting at that $40 billion, you know, Choppa. A lot of people are actually willing and waiting for the corruptions to start back, where them can go near my food on a parish council, where them can go central government go near my food, right? Where the link is them within the PMP will have high positions now, so then go corruption and then go corrupt activity can take place. Then look links can go on because as we speak, a lot of those things has been cut off clean by this government, and a lot of comrades are suffering and they refuse to look outside of the normal premise of life that they used to have, and now they're just sitting down like some hungry dogs, you know, foaming at the side of the mouth, wanting to get a piece of the NIR, and that is not how it's going to work. And I'm just calling on well-thinking Jamaicans to make sure that, you know, Mark Golding see the power that he so desires, because they don't want to win governance on merit. They want to win it on talking points and chaka business. But we don't have no time for that. We now go back where we have come from. Our country is growing. It is in the best shape of its life. And we just can't afford to change the course. Yeah? We can't change the course, people. Me just pray, me a beg the business community. Well, people who say they are not take part in a election because they're really, for the first time, we are big on look and make good sense prevail. Even for the
A 93-year-old lady called Cliff Hughes, I think it was yesterday or the day before. And she said, I think yesterday, and she said, Mr. Hughes, I am part of a group of persons her age. They were 90s and 80s. And she said, I am scared. And Cliff asked her, why are you scared? She said, I'm worried that we might get back to the days of the PNP when we were forced to take 5 flights a day to Miami. That's what the 93-year-old said. She said, I am worried for my country because I know, she said, of 8 kids, she's the only one who stayed in Jamaica for some time. Every other siblings went away on a flight to Miami or to New York and left Jamaica.
But Choppa, I heard her yesterday as well. But the
Yeah.
day before, not the day before, today is what? Thursday? I think it was
Yes.
on Tuesday. A gentleman also, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been last week after the conference. And he was also 91 years old, and he called he's a former police officer, and he was telling Cliff about a lot of stuff, and he shared the same sentiments. And this is why, even though I disregard the polls and stuff, when I saw the numbers regarding the seniors, which generally them senior people always support the PNP. If you notice, even them
Yes.
crowd at conferences tend to be older, right? But those people who lived through that time, they are all coming out now, basically testifying that yes, back in the day, this and that, but this is the best government we have ever seen, and how much they love and respect the prime minister, and how they fear what the PNP will do to gain power. People are scared. The elderly scared, bad.
True.
How
You
can
man,
we
I can
allow
say this to you now.
a government to come in where has no plans? That has never shown us any plan. When they ask comrade, what are the plans? Oh no, man, wait. You're gonna see when
Time
you come
come.
in a
Time
government.
come. That's the
Like,
plan. Time
like
come.
seriously? at this day and age where we have so much technology and we can read for ourselves and we can get information, you're telling me to put you into power, then you show me what you have for me?
Yeah, man.
Vote for
Then
it and then we do it.
suppose a communism you have for me.
Exactly. And that's the difficulty
You
we
know,
face.
yeah,
yeah,
I want to make a
I have to go.
Sterling. Oh, you're
Yeah,
going.
man.
Oh, I
I
have a
have to
point.
go. And I never introduced myself, but I'm hailing from South Chilani. You
Oh,
Yes,
know,
sir.
coming up, we are look forward for a by-election. And then, we have one little man in our place, give one whole heap of little problem and one whole heap of promises. So we are look for every Jamaica Labour Party supporter to see if we can come in a South Chilani when the time come. Because me go on good and we don't have no representative yet out on the road like that. So we don't out there like that. But look out in the next election, by-election from South Chilani.
Yeah, so
But I gather
thanks, Sterling.
you have Mama D on the ground up there, man. How come?
Not so much, man. To be honest with you, there's a lot of things to talk about, but we don't talk like that. So we don't fight each other,
She's on the ground badly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
She's on the ground effectively. She's on the ground.
Okay.
Very much on the ground. And just for the record, we could just put this thing to rest.
Yeah.
Mama
Alright.
D will be the candidate for South Chilani.
Well,
Tell anybody to be tell her that.
I candidate, we're ready for work.
Thank you very much.
And the way that
Mama D will return as the member of parliament for Southern Chilani.
Bradley.
Just make a second that.
And the way that stop drain cleaning for start a try this week.
Okay.
He's presently on the ground, may I tell you.
Okay, cool.
So we can second that. Put that at the bottom of the pot.
Yeah.
Right, Kizzy?
So Mike
Then more
Tyson
jump
start
in,
campaign that way then.
Yes,
Sorry?
man, we can't touch the road, man. May I tell you.
Alright.
More jump in point 2 point, given that I talk about gully cleaning and all that. But how can your vibe forget KSAC? Right? And you are gonna come out and say, boy, if you renovate the market, you probably have to charge the people them more. The JLP
But that's
has
the
been
only way
building out
PNP can
markets.
raise funds.
Well,
They
the
can't raise
JLP has
funds,
been
brother, with my
building out
brethren.
markets
The
and not
PNP
raising up
has
anything on
never,
anybody.
my brethren, the PNP has never bush a kilometer of road unless them tax the people. The PNP cannot do nothing in Jamaica without taxes. That is how they operate.
Choppa, and another point more I make. The street light.
And that he come with them vote for genuine one. Yeah, that's not two now. Cutting not two now. So I see me food price, I go share not two when I then get more tax and then nasty ras. That them vote for.
Well, I know I show you another vibe.
Mr.
Driving
Nathaniel, all the ass is there.
Well, I know. Driving through downtown Kingston. My brother works downtown Kingston. I work in New Kingston. And I remember when the debate was held, right? The now mayor, who was not a mayor back then, right? In the debate was talking about stoplights. The stoplight at the top of Duke Street, at the intersection of Duke Street and East Queen Street is not working. The one on Nova Street not working, right? When you come up, you have to take your time and maneuver because that is a very busy negotiate and maneuver whatsoever, and people be patient and courteous and respectful, and people come through, right? And then you have other areas within downtown Kingston. The stoplights are not working, and if it were the JLP that were, let's say the JLP at the council now, the municipal council now, this is something that the PNP be talking about. So why is there silence? And this is now school time when they expect to regulate the traffic in a seamless way, right? Not even police officers are there to help direct the traffic. So them when they run come with one bag of propaganda and campaign and promises and cannot deliver nothing at all to the people. Even the motorists on the road right now facing problem because of the street lights. Every morning I have to drive up, me have problem. Or me driving down to downtown, me have problem. That can't make no sense.
With honesty, you know, the things why PMP get away with Jamaica Labour Party not get away with, you know. They're unfair to you all the while. And only person we see PMP keep up and then get away there and then we don't do nothing at all and then find some propaganda for fling pan we at all time. So we have to be strong. But me have to left you now, so. I like that something else, so me link up on it.
Give thanks.
Respect, man.
Big up yourself,
Absolutely.
man.
Good.
Jaden, first of all, we don't know who Kanjo is. So that's the first thing. And when you talk about manipulate Jamaican people, what exactly are you referring to? There's a Jaden in the comments that is asking how much Kanjo pay on to manipulate Jamaican people.
Just block him
So
and run
tell
him,
us
man.
what people are being manipulated and who name Kanjo.
You know, I'll observe the labor rights, them, you know, man. Them always come on, them there, them job, them, I got work. That's why you don't have so much labor rights on social media, spread propaganda, you know. Them barely have time. Barely have time. Sometimes you say, well, labor right, them to come push back and come help. But then
No, man, we're working
already. People are fear run in between. Labor rights
Yeah,
are fear take shift. When you look on the PNP, them, they sit on all day big and stink on the internet.
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do. Because them know, if you know the day them when them give the part money, other day they alone is, you know.
It's a parcel. You have to mute your mic when you come in, man. The mic is echoing and disturbing everybody else. Go ahead. Was it Kizzy or Chin that was talking a while ago?
No, I'm saying if
but
you know
that we're talking, but me done so me have to say, because you know was anytime I see me like my mic, me not have nothing for add.
Me too. No, I'm just saying anytime you see part money run and the post office them full, the tax office them full up a PMP out there. Yeah, that is the only time them not up on social media chat crap. Only time. Jaden, give us an argument. You have something to say, send a request to Chaps so we can add you in the box and you say what you have to say.
Yeah,
if you can't,
I'm coming in that box. Mr. Parcel, morning, sir.
Morning, Labour family.
Morning, sir.
Greetings.
Yeah, man. Send me a listen something. I watched something last night with the Prime Minister overseas, and trust me, believe me, man, that make me feel so good. Believe me, no, man.
Feel good.
Me feel so good, bro, if you know, say, other country cannot take step from Jamaica. A little country like we, and the man them look at the Prime Minister and the work that he has done. Brother, I want to ask a question. What do Mark Golding see, or what plans he have? Because totally them don't have a plan, because when me hear the man talk, me I say, this country, if Andrew get another term, this country will be a first world country. Believe me, and as far as me say, me now watch a poll, because me sit and me listen how people talk. Jamaica will get another third term and we will see a first world country. Jamaica is doing very well. Believe me, my virgin, I come from the hospital one night here. I will drive through jungle. And Jesus, Father, God, brother, let me tell a man this, man. When me I come through jungle, me I feel one day for Riverton City, me there. Me see some heap and row. Brother, believe me, man, me can't tell a man this, bro, but believe me, Jamaica must be careful of Mark Golding. Be careful of Mark Golding. When I talk about hospital, bro, when me go hospital, brother, me not tell no lie. It's coming like a foreign hospital, me there I get through. I'm then go through easy, even though you did it for a period of time. But brother, me I tell you, say the service and how them deal with you, Me no listen to yaga, I listen to people when I have no brain. So all me I say, the work we una do on Facebook and TikTok, una keep it up, bro, because the people must say una the most intelligent set of people. Because the people who make the bag and nice, them say they don't have a clue. So that is why I respect the eye them. I'm love on the man, me I tell you now. More time I don't see me come up to the box, but me there listen because me I tell you the truth. Me learn a lot. Yeah man, big up.
Well, thank you, Purcell. I'm sure Chaps kind of paused it seem, but I'm sure he appreciates it. Kizzy, myself, all of us that are here all the time. That is our aim, you know. That is our aim, to teach people.
Una hear that come right. Una come right them, una hear that. Una need to tell the leader to go clean up in constituency, una hear that. Down there full of rubber and garbage, time to go take them up. Go and go tell him. They will clean up in place. I think they can clean up down in constituency. We go keep Jamaica clean. I want to take with for rubber and dump. You think Jamaica rubber and go and wanna go but couple of no too. Go and want to run country. I wanna try to. Turn Jamaica and rubber and dump. Go and wanna go. Go and down and dump.
Well, that's it. So Purcell, Chaps to come back, him can tell you himself, but that is our aim, for people like you to get the knowledge that you need and, you know, be able to spread the word yourself. We love that. We love that.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, and like I said, I find it disturbing. And the same video that the gentleman is talking about is the one that Angel tried to play earlier, but because of the background noise.
If you give me an opportunity, I'm alone in the bus. So I'm going to play it now if you guys apologize for earlier.
Right, just mute your mic, guys.
All right, here it goes.
I'll introduce you to one of the leading voices in the global conversation on development and economic resilience, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honourable Andrew Holness. You've had a long history now of really struggling to put things back in order in your country. You've succeeded in reducing your debt ratios by half. Unemployment has come down to fairly low levels. Inflation has come down. So lots of successes. Tell us a little bit about how you were able to do that.
Well, firstly, it's the building of social and political consensus. That's absolutely important. And that starts with the country taking responsibility. We have to put our house in order. And then we have to strike global and international partnerships. We struck a very good partnership with the IMF and the World Bank. And we focused on a development program, which was sponsored by both the IMF and the World Bank. And then the government committed to a fiscal path and stuck to it. Clearly, the COVID pandemic would have set us back. But within the fiscal program, we built in resilience. So we ensured that our economy was able to respond to shocks. And we were able to respond to the COVID pandemic and the subsequent shocks that followed, the supply side shocks, supply chain shocks, the energy shocks. And then recently, we had another shock, which was Hurricane Beryl. And we were able to respond to that. So I think that Jamaica could be cited as an example of a country that maintained fiscal discipline, built in buffers, and took the necessary steps to build resilience in its economy to be able to respond to unexpected crises and shocks. But that's just the first stage of the economy, of our economic development. The second stage now is how do we get the economy to grow rapidly, to deliver on the prosperity promise to our people. And that's the challenge. And that is where we tie in all of the SDG goals. How do we get our economy to be able to deliver on the SDG goals? And a key part of that is growth. And I believe that the multilateral financial system has a role to play in taking a very forward-leaning posture in ensuring that the global financial architecture is supportive of countries like Jamaica that have made the sacrifice, that are putting in the effort to ensure that that sacrifice and effort results in growth.
We're here. The UN Secretary General has called for an SDG stimulus plan. You yourself are a co-chair of the SDG stimulus leadership group that the SG has appointed. Everybody is saying we need more fiscal space in order to be able to implement an SDG stimulus. Yet you've also talked about the need for fiscal resilience in your own program. How do you square those? What advice do you have for other countries that are now wrestling with this tension between, on the one hand, trying to drive their programs towards achievement of the SDGs, and on the other hand, being very concerned that they not go out of the boundaries of prudent fiscal policies?
Well, just using the Jamaica experience, capacity building is very important, particularly in the management of the economy. And secondly, leveraging the private sector. I don't believe enough is done in bringing in private sector resources in helping countries to achieve their SDG goals. And I believe that multilaterals have a role to play in how we can leverage the private sector resources, particularly by de-risking some private sector investments and by helping to direct and create the incentives for pointing private sector investments in areas of investment that align with global public goods. My advice, from my experience, is that good fiscal management should not be seen as a trade-off for achieving the SDGs. I think you need to have good fiscal management in order to be able to sustainably achieve the SDGs.
And have you seen private investment starting to return to Jamaica? What kind of de-risking programs that you mentioned?
Well, generally, I would say that the global headwinds have created some uncertainties, difficulties for most countries. The high interest rate environment that is existing globally. So investors are generally trying to find safe havens. So in the short term, you may see some softening of interest in some developing countries. But I think that should return quite quickly as the developed countries signal that they're going to reduce their interest rates. So my own view is that in terms of de-risking, the multilaterals could play an important role in helping countries with guarantees, in helping countries with bringing together the necessary investment expertise. I think those two things would reduce the risk of investments coming into developed countries.
Now, you talked about capacity building. Is that capacity building in the public sector or in the private sector?
It's both. When we start to talk about investments for adaptation and taking on very complex capital investment projects, many developed countries don't have the technical expertise to do it either in the public sector or in the private sector. And so support in this regard would be very useful.
We're here, New York. High-level week, summit of the future. We just have a pact for the future. What's your main message in all of these? What's your hopes and expectations?
Firstly, I'm very happy that this is now going to become an institutional feature of the UN, the Summit of the Future and the Pact and the Declaration. I think it's very important. The history of a country like Jamaica is that for more than 40 years, we engaged in very high borrowing. In some instances, we were forced to borrow. We had shocks that we just did not expect, global events over which we had no control. But some of it would have been poor economic choices on our part as well. And what we must realize as a people and as politicians is that borrowing is financing present consumption with the revenues of future generations. And when we start to take future generations into consideration at the outset, then it forces us to make better decisions about not just the resources we're consuming now or the economic decisions that we're making now, but how will these decisions affect us and generations yet unborn? And I think that this is a very important step in integrating upfront in decision making for politicians and for global institutions about how do we plan not just for the generations that exist, not just for the political concerns that exist today, but for the futures yet unborn.
Prime Minister, thank you so much. I know you have a very tight schedule, but I think that the example of countries like Jamaica gives all of us hope, because you have demonstrated that you can start from a very difficult position. And yes, it takes time and determination and energy, but with all of these issues, whether it's debt sustainability, whether it's building resilience, the capacity building, you're now positioned to be able to take the next steps forward towards really delivering for the people.
Let me say, and everyone here listening would understand that it is not easy for a country to engage in a program of fiscal consolidation, austerity, and long-term fiscal discipline where there are significant hardships that the people face. So it does require some amount of political dexterity and agility to be able to respond to the political pressures. But at the same time, it has to be a politics of hope. The population must understand that our frugality today will result in prosperity, not in some notional long term, but you're going to see the benefits of being good fiscal managers of the resources that we have.
Yeah, thank you for that, Angel. I appreciate it. It was very clear, and I think everybody get the message. The Prime Minister was at his best. He was at his best, and it tells you when a man is not reading from a script. He is speaking to stuff that he would have been a part of for the last 20 years and speaks with a high level of authority. Kudos to the Prime Minister and kudos to Jamaica. That is the difficulty I face, guys. What we just listened to a while ago is what I have a challenge with, how people in Jamaica can come up with an opposite view to that. I wasn't even so taken aback by the Prime Minister's presentation, but is the interviewer who would have done his or her his research and said, boy, look, tell me how to do it. The man cited the unemployment rate, the same unemployment rate where the opposition leader today and others is out there on platform challenging. They're challenging entities like Statin and challenging the information that they put out. But international organizations who would have done their research cited these as accurate information, citing Jamaica's growth and development as something that other countries should look at and model. But yet in our homeland, in Jamaica, people still are telling us 40%. Though the 40% is lower than the majority who says no. But I find it disturbing that persons can still come up with that viewpoint. So that's it. That's why I really wanted to play this tape. Thank you for that, Angel. Your thought, Kizzy?
Well, I had seen the interview before, and the Prime Minister don't travel as much as our former Prime Minister did. Most times he's in Jamaica on the ground, but every time he travels with purpose. And he's always highlighted or given some opportunity to speak. So that alone in itself tells you how the international, community is looking at Jamaica now. Once upon a time, I remember every time Jamaica was in the news, it was because um it was pure bad things. Our crime rate, a Jamaican commit crime in some other country and it make headline news, or some country saying, oh, when you will now need visa to enter. But a lot of that has changed. Our passport has gotten even stronger since 2016 because you have some other countries who say, okay, Jamaicans can come here without visa now, you know. So it's just a whole reflection. And listen, the prime minister sit there and he calmly, it wasn't scripted, he never had a read off on a paper. He was clearly able to explain himself and the position Jamaica in right now because he has put in the work. And that's it. I'm proud can done.
I feel the same way, Kizzy. I'm proud. When Chop shared it, that was the first thing that I messaged. I am so proud of my prime minister to know that as somebody that travels to the US especially very often, I'm proud to know that I can share with people here that that is my prime minister. I can share with people that this is the work that is being done in Jamaica. Jamaica is no longer one of those Caribbean countries that is forgotten. We're not one of those countries that people can belittle. We're actually doing things and creating waves on the international scene. So I'm very proud that we're doing that, to be recognized by so many other countries around the world. And it happened even right after COVID. I think right after COVID is when the recovery is when it all started. I think a lot of countries were wondering, how is this small little island able to bounce back so quickly, and not fall under pressure? So I'm very proud. I don't know about anybody else, but it's very good to see.
I am so happy because I remembers in the 90s, I was a part of FinSac, lose everything. And now I can see that the benefit that I am reaping right now. I don't get no handout because I love handout. And jobs, top at jobs. See, because I'm a professional painter and I can tell you, believe me, things is getting much easier. If you're lazy, you will get work. So when a man go come tell you, say nothing nah go on. Him is a PMP, him no like work, or PMP keep people in poverty, poor. See it. So enough of them no love work. So me love work, me no love handout. Give me the work and me will work. Me no love handout. That's why me happy for my prime minister. I'm happy for who's around him. And me give God thanks,
Thank you, Parcel. How about
I'm
you,
gonna
Trace?
come down. I'm gonna come up. Hold on,
All right.
Chops.
Thank you, Angel. I appreciate your time, yeah?
I'm
Before
in
I
the
come down
same
though,
position.
I wanna say
Hold
one
on a
thing
second.
before
Let me just allow Angel to speak before she comes down. Go ahead, Angel.
I'm gonna say one thing before I come off. Thank you, Chops. I hear what Miss Chin and Kizdan had to say, right? And you see, for folks like us who can read and understand, and who can see and do research and understand it, it's easier to accept things, right? And when I heard this video the first time, I said to myself that in order for us to appreciate what Prime Minister is speaking about, we have to understand where we're coming from. And that's the problem. A lot of us don't understand where we're coming from. And for us to understand where we are now, we have to understand that to appreciate where we are as a country. And I think that's the problem that we're having in Jamaica, right? People don't see where we were. They see a party and they see a color. And we need to come out of that. We need to step away from that and put our country first and realize that where we were nowhere, to be real. And the People's National Party had us in so much debt. We were so far behind where now we should be proud of where we are. But if we don't understand where we're coming from, how can we be proud? We have to understand where we were. And so I think Chaps and Chuck and all of us, you need to have more live speaking on the FinSAC and speaking on where the PNP had us, how they had us. And so that they can understand that this moment is a moment that we should be celebrating. And so that's what I'm going to leave it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Angel. Appreciate that. Yeah.
It can't be better, chaps, it can't be better said than how Angel said. Angel have said it perfect a while ago. Because the thing is, when we don't know where we are come from, we can't see the positive move at the future because we don't realize the whole world in our way I come from. And as she say, we need to try to educate the undecided them which part we are come from to where we reach now. Because as where we are come from and them just keep me live in a farming community, me come from South Chilani, and back in the days, you used to fertilizer come and you got a PMP man here, then pay for a certain amount of fertilizer at a PMP man your shop. And the PMP man then give what them feel like give it to them supporters and sell the rest. Now the government come in with radar. So if you are not a registered farmer, you can't get one bag of fertilizer. And one bag to each ID. So PMP no used to them there, so they will sit down and then complain say nothing and go on. And you not do nothing for nobody. And when you tell the average man about economic growth, they don't know what you talk about. If you tell a man say country grow, he don't know what you talk about. So we have to try to kind of educate the persons that are willing to learn, make them can see how the country move forward. Because some people now see the country move forward if them now get $5,000 every week or $10,000 every month. Then. So when you tell a man, say, watch out, the economy will grow by 2% or 3%, him don't know what you talk saying. No? You tell a man about say the hospital are develop, him no look and say him have to go over there, no, him, why him a get? What that have to do with me? Some man no look and say, remember back in the days, man figure hospital go have baby and can't go because the last pitney when have he never pay hospital bill, so he can't go back there. And things like those cut out and people still not see that. You admit in hospital, and when you come out, you never have the money to pay hospital bill and you take sick and you can't go back to the same hospital because you owe a bill there. And them used to hear me mother, them used to hear me parents them talk about and them a fret. And them a say, me name pay bill when they come out of hospital, so how me go back over there. And all of them there and people no remember them sitting there, no?
Blessed, good morning, good morning.
People no remember them sitting there when them attack, they no remember them sitting there. Me see one man go do operation pan him foot with there. Do operation pan him knee with there. And he said that cost him most $100,000. And me hear that same man they open him out and say, hospital did better when you there pay $300 for register. Me say nothing bad
Morning. Morning.
Everybody have a chance to talk, no could have me finish.
No, me just endorse something. I just something I endorse and go back because show me have the phone. So me just want to listen something. Listen how this man introduced our Prime Minister the other day. Listen how the man introduced him and the words what the man put. When the man endorsed the Prime Minister at the diaspora the other day, 4 days ago. Listen how the man endorsed our Prime Minister.
Joining her is our esteemed Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, a dynamic leader and advocate on the global stage, Senator, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith. And ladies and gentlemen, finally, it is my great privilege to welcome the man who has guided Jamaica through transformative change and development, a visionary leader who continues to inspire us all. Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
All right, so now you're the endorse the man transformation leader. And we Jamaican can see that take back the floor. God bless you and thanks.
from our old piece of bike to our old car and galang up the line till you finally have one good vehicle. You will never appreciate it because you're born in the wealth and the only thing you're born can see a Benz. So that's where Jamaica need to look back to where we are coming from to where we are now. 100%, but we are far ahead of where we was. And that's, I don't know. Me convinced the PMP just live in a denial. They naive. I don't know. For them brain wire different from free boy. That's all me can say. Them brain wire back way.
It's a
Yes.
different wiring of the brains, eh?
Yes, them wire back way.
Totally.
They see things in the opposite direction. They say good to be bad and bad to be good. I don't know how they get it to be that way. But
Yeah, the
but I
wires
convinced.
cross.
Yeah, then why
But
across?
Trace,
That's my
but
thing,
Trace,
sir.
what you were saying, not to cut you, but Trace, I know you didn't get to finish talking, but we definitely got a clear understanding because you and Angel were pretty much saying the same thing, and it
Thank you
is
for the
so true.
comment.
Some of us don't understand where we're coming from, and not only do they not understand, but the wording sometime of what they listen to, they don't understand. Some words is for them, as they would call it, big word, and because it is big word, they do not know how to break it down, and because of that they don't understand the message that is being given, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's not every word I know, not every word you guys are going to know, not every word the prime minister know. It's just how it is. But when somebody says something and you do not understand the words that is being said, you can either ask questions or you can go and research it. The information is there for you to know. But that's what we are here for also, to help break it down and give people an understanding of what it is that they listen to or what it is that they read. That's all it is. We just have to break down things for people. But a big part of what I
Oh,
want to explain to people is we're all so Americanized in Jamaica. Everything we want to live like foreign people. We want to do things like foreign people. Do you realize that America has an election coming up in November? And if you listen keenly, a big part of what put Kamala Harris, the Democratic leader, our candidate, a big part of what is pushing her forward is the fact that she's giving the country a plan. She's telling the people what she plans to do for them. And a big part of the problem that people are having with Donald Trump is that they're saying that Donald Trump don't have no plan. Donald Trump cannot tell people what he's going to do. And every time he's asked the question, he tries to dilly-dally around it and come up with some false narrative. And so people have a problem with him. So we need to look at that to say America is what Jamaica wants, some Jamaicans want to be like. Do you realize that Margolin is not giving a plan just like how Donald Trump is not giving one? Do you realize that Kamala Harris is using wisdom to give people a plan as to what she's going to do when she's in power? And that is giving her the traction that she needs. So we as a people need to look into that as well. If America can make sure that they're giving people a plan, why is it that a small island like Jamaica, the person that wants to be in power don't want to give a plan?
Miss Gino,
Obviously, him don't have one.
Miss Gino, me not like the comparison with the politics in America. I swear to God.
No, but
But
listen, it's not.
because I don't want to, I like to debate it, and I don't want to debate it because it just gonna create a split in a fewest part of the world when many really
No,
don't
man,
want
the
that.
comparison is not comparing ourselves to them, Kizzy. I'm
Me
not
get
trying to compare
I
Jamaica to
get what you're
America.
saying. I get what you're saying,
I'm
but
just
me could
trying
have
to say.
easily debate you, but me don't want to do that.
I'm just trying to say that the only thing I'm trying to say is that we need to have a plan. Whether Kamala or whether Trump, I don't care about that part. I'm not an American. I could care less who wins. I'm just saying that the point is that we need to have a plan. You cannot want to be a president or a prime minister
Well,
and you don't have a plan.
remember say PNP a chaka chaka government and they do it as they go along.
So
and
that I'm just saying that people
and
need
that
to
is
look
what they
at.
are banking on, because them no care. Them want them, the people them we are run with PNP, them want to run with it government. They don't care about planning. They don't care. Them a wait for Damien Crawford to come up with one other manifesto when it make no sense, where them can't explain how. Remember, what did Mark Rollins said about it? That raising the threshold. Oh God, what is it called, Miss Chin? My Choppa, one I don't know. That in the make one big promise and everybody else say explain it and he can't explain it.
Yeah,
Income
man. He
tax
was him
threshold.
paying. He wanted to
Raise it to
increase,
3.2.
to raise it from 1.5 to 3 million dollars.
True, 3 million,
Remember,
and
he came,
they could not provide the
and
mathematics
they
of
could
how.
explain it.
They couldn't
They
explain
also
it.
Me no cut your
they
kizzy.
also said Kizzy. They also said Damon Crawford, to be exact, said that he will increase the amount of money being spent on education. Education today received the lion's share of the budget. And
Right,
he's saying that he will increase it by a certain amount, 40
right.
billion, I think it is. And he
Yeah,
would
but
raise that money because he would move GCT from 16%, sorry, from 15%
percent.
to 16 again. Remember
Mm-hmm.
that GCT was at 16.5% and the GLP reduced it to
Reduce it.
15%.
And
And they want to bring it back up.
Chopper, this is what I'm saying to you. We
Yeah,
sometimes I hear
fellas, I have
persons
to
that try to
jump
reel
off
off
later.
the
All right, take it
achievements,
easy, my
but a
brother.
lot of what this government has done since 2016, persons, it is so much that sometimes you can't even remember because we wasn't archiving all the changes. It coming like the normal day to day for right now. But I want point to no attention to one little video. Most of us on TikTok, we won't be familiar with this guy with name Bella and Jerry. Most of you most familiar with him. He always in every kind of PNP shirt from all over
Yeah, man,
Jamaica. I don't know it.
a subliminal message they were sending out.
No, right.
But
But
Jerry,
them have
Jerry,
a lot of following
Jerry come out
every
with that
day.
video where my cost PMP. Yeah, I know it.
Yes, you see it, Miss Chin, but maybe some persons not see it.
You
I
don't
don't
see it
want
yet.
to
If
play.
you have an audio and good faith, it will be good.
It is a lot of profanity, a whole lot. So if you
Too
don't
much
mind,
profanity.
See it, man.
if you don't mind me playing it, Chopper, I will. But I want to warn the audience that is a whole lot of profanity.
By
But I
all
was
means.
sent it,
Still
and
understand.
I had to pick, or just pick sense out of nonsense because it might sound stupid to a lot of people. But listen very carefully.
Well, fuck up on a batty, man. Now, batty, man, we are putting the things up. Where you want to know? You want to know nothing. He's a big batty boy.
Remember your
I don't care.
Remember your PMP.
The PMP and Labour are the same thing, eh? Them cross the bench in a parliament, PMP and Labour. And them under the crown, them rule by the crown make them. Nah, man, the boss man. You just stand up on the man, bumbo clarkies. Private sector game, look at it. Them give it to that community. You have a million community in them. You have a piece of community.
They must say
Rain and water this.
They must
Them blood clot, they don't want to kiss on and you want this pussy clot. All don't worry. But where ma'am? Can I be given the things them too? Him get and him give away. Him get and him give away.
Yeah.
Him get and him give away. Him get and him give away. Him have build community. He thinks of PMP alone. How where the budget? Can't fix it. How much state in Jamaica? How much country? 14 parish.
Yeah.
The man them get gift from the private sector. Them get gift from Albo. Him have to give fix some drainer. The line that full of water wash the road or wash the gully. That one was the thing them. The budget alone cannot run up. Gonna kiss the man pussy clock and all on the fuck up of the man. And go away. Cause we not do nothing. What we not do? You can't feed, clothes, education. 2.5 million people who don't have on a bomb clock. What they want to take up that pose. Politics and stress. Can you get money as gift? And but them don't know where you look at privately. Mama give her a whole heap of things private. After mama kind of sick and job. Some people go say, Mama help me. The people for go to school. Mama do this, Mama do that. Mama not announce that, you know. But after two, Mama kind of ease off. If I say, Mama a good woman. Because she ever people for go to school, make them sit in the
Basically, I
hospital.
say Andrew Wallace do a lot of
Yeah, Andrew Wallace.
him not
Let my
talk.
blood clot tell you something. Enough young people are. Enough young people are. Me not blind. A lot of young people working. And the Labour Party have more young people than the PNP Bumbuckler Party. So, and it's a surprise to me if Andrew will got the young people that went vote him. The young people that in Jamaica, a lot of them working and create work for them. So me put on Andrew on this, you know. Because I say, one man brother is so big and walk and girl will say fuck. I say I work in all kind of place. I work in China, man, I do this, I do that. So a lot of young people, so PNP, I tell you blood class something. If Andrew won this one, win him win. If you want win, you can. It's not a problem to me, though. You're controlled by the monarch, the kings and queen, the crown. And the queen don't want time on the crown. So when they exploit and do this and think private sector, because the money get the government general, you know. Because it's not your place, it's not your land, you're the school, you're a bumbuckler owner. Maybe when they get the republic, you will own somewhere. But right now, you don't own Jamaica. You don't own a...
Well, basically, even though I'm the same thing, but Choppa, this is a PNP. But here, the main points what the man say, him say all of the girl them we used to the boy them used to the pan corner. All of the girl them we know used to be prostitute. Them a work somewhere now. The young people them a work. Him provide work for the young people. If you take a hard end, because Jerry, I don't know, young boy, Jerry a whole PNP, and he must say this. I know nobody can script him. Him attack. All when the girl I said, remember your PNP, remember your PNP, him man still attack. So you see it. Then they could have wheel and deal. People will want the truth, whether them are PNP or not, they know for a fact that this government do double up what PNP used to do.
Kissy, some of them so light, but Jerry can't keep it down. Some of them so light. And that them do, some of them see what go on and turn a blind eye, then can't. Some of them shame to, you know, so they can't talk. Some of them whisper in their house too, you know, but they don't want to come out. Some of them whisper in their house, man. Because PNP tell me plain and straight, say, 2 PNP, in fact, one tell me, say, oh, Andrew Wellness at work. If PNP don't know them, I do want chisel and chopping them, them have got to dig him out of house, you know. And one tell me, say, Andrew, I do a good job, but he can't vote for him, you know. So some of them attack.
Well, me can't tell you, PJ, that tape you play there now.
To even deliberate on what Jerry said, you know. I was in Jamaica a few months back, right? And I'm coming down very soon because I come campaign. Whether we start campaign or not, I come campaign because I really don't want, I don't want to go back. If we can deliberate from where we're coming from to where we're at. But to deliberate on what Jerry said, pass around, anybody who know Portmore Back Road, pass around there and see. Oh, you see, things, Portmore Back Road used to be where whole heap of girl used to out there sell. That not there again. All of them gonna work, and these are the things that we need to look into. PNP, we are saying that PNP doesn't have a plan. I beg to differ. Because Damian Crawford come out and him say Margaret is the GCT. Mark Golden talk yesterday or day before yesterday that him have a plan to put back fees in the health system where you have to go pay for God the hospital. These are the things that people need to look into. They have a plan, yes, but to fuck over Jamaica, back to put back Jamaica in the hole that Jamaica was and to where we are at now. I am in Canada. Other people in the United States, and to sit down and look at where Jamaica was and to where Jamaica is now. We should be proud. And we should be proud of our Prime Minister and to say our Prime Minister transformed Jamaica and to where it is at the present moment. I am so proud and elated.
That is why, my brother, it is important for us to put all that we are saying here into context and put it right against the poll and the utterances of 40-something% of Jamaicans, quote unquote, who said the country is going in the wrong direction. I am not here to tell you that the poll is fake or the poll is wrong or what have you. No. I want to put it in context because I find it difficult to accept the numbers or to accept the findings, knowing that it cannot be supported by a shred of evidence. It cannot be supported. The position that Jamaica is going in the wrong direction cannot be supported, Kizzy, Chin, everybody, by any facts at all. Because if you are, and I tell you now, the comrades need to come and defend their position. And I plan to call Mr. Hughes today at some point because I want to raise the point that yes, the pollsters go out there and this is the answer. But where's the follow-up question to say, give me an example? Because I'm quite certain it would have been an interesting finding to listen to the answers you receive when you ask the follow-up questions. Because I know that there's absolutely no justification for that position. Look at how the global communities view us. Look at what we are able to see here. Look at what Kizzy just played with Jerry. Jerry's an old stalwart PNP, old rockstone PNP, now vote Labour. But he was able to say, look, me understand what happened. Me see it. And if Jerry can see it as an old dinosaur in the PNP, and him can see it as clear as day, him can see the cricket ball big like a breadfruit, then how did we come up with this high percentage of Jamaicans saying that country are going in the wrong direction? Is it that Jerry is living a different reality from the average Jamaican? These are some of the questions that we have to ask. Mr. Peng, see you join us. How you do?
Yeah, morning. Just beg you a minute.
Yeah, man, please. Go right ahead, my brother.
I have been listening to the topic as it relates to the poll. And I just want to say something regarding it because I've been paying attention to it. As a matter of fact, I knew someone who was polled. A Labourite. She's a Labourite. But the questions that were asked, if you realize, the three main points as it relates to what persons believe are affecting Jamaica, such as crime, corruption, and cost of living. The questions were asked. I know those questions were asked first. So when you ask a man and him give you those to say those are the three main things that are affecting, and you ask him a question if is the country going in the right direction, that is why you realize that some amount of persons who were polled said yes, the government deserve a third term. But when you look at the percentage as it relates to wrong direction and so forth, if you ask a man who took 3 weeks, as a matter of fact, if you ask a man who took a month and a half to get back electricity, is the country going in the right direction? What do you think his answer will be, Choppa?
Absolutely. And that's why I said it yesterday, Mr. Peng, that the context, the sequence in which the questions are asked, and the time that you ask these questions is very important. Because I can ask a question, in a particular way to induce a particular answer.
Exactly.
And I believe that there is some manipulation, not saying that the pollsters did it deliberately to induce a particular response. I'm not saying that. But I'm simply saying that if we interrogate the methodology and the sequence and the context in which the questions were asked, it is clear as day that the answers we receive is not matching the reality on the ground. It is not matching the reality.
No,
it is not matching the reality.
And another point which because I have been trying to get persons to do some construction work for me for about 4 to 5 weeks now. I can't seem to get anybody. And I got a few on Monday. And they were there, and every 10 minutes, their phone rang. Persons want them to work. And I was having a little talk about politics and so forth. And they said to me, we're not with politics, because nothing now go on. Government now do nothing. And then when I explained to them now, as it relates to, what you mean, you have been getting cars to work because of the country, the finance of the country and all of that. And when I explained it to them, that is how they understood what exactly is happening. I said this to say, the problem we're facing as a government is that too many things are happening good at once. So we don't get time to highlight them. And not only that we don't get time to highlight them is, For the last 8 months, every single night you turn on your TV, you see the opposition in somewhere along the line talking. And those persons are hearing them more than the JLP. So what you find happening is that persons are not hearing the true side of the story. They're hearing every day that the country is going in the wrong direction. The government is corrupt. This is not happening. That is not happening. And I think that has to do with us as a party, is that we really need to get on the road, because the opposition has been on the road for about 8 months after the parish councils. They haven't left the road. So what you find happening is that you're hearing them more than you're hearing the JLP. You're hearing them more than you're hearing the JLP.
Mr. Penn, can I interject for a minute and say something to you?
Yes,
Please.
no problem.
Okay, so regarding this, I have noticed several times. I think I will even use one example where Rhoda Crawford, MP for I think Central Manchester, she got some work done, and it was regarding roads. And then I think the PNP councillor was taking credit for it. Or I don't remember the details of it, but and even over by Portmore, there was some kind of confrontation between who did this and who got it done. You see, whenever the Jamaica Labour Party come out, or even the MPs as there is the position that they're sitting in, when they get work done and it is highlighted, it gets attacked, and it turns into something that is positive, it turns it into a negative. Now you might not see them on the nightly news. You know why? Because there is a big bias within the media. And whenever they try, even on social media, to promote their work and say, listen, this was a need from the community and it is now done, it is attacked daily, daily, daily. Tell me now, I try to count as much as I can. I know several of us on the platform try to count as much as we can. But then it turns something positive into a confrontation. You don't think it get tiring for the MPs? It get tiring for us? Why is it so difficult for others to see it when we see it?
Yeah, and to add to one thing that you said, Kizzy, about when the JLP is doing work, how the PNP tries to counter it. I remember in my constituency, in the Hayes division, which is a predominantly strong PNP area, and the member of parliament, Pernell Charles Jr., he decided to fix a road that has been in very bad condition for many, many years. And even before the JLP was in power. And when he went down there and the work was being done, the councillor who was also running against him, Cian Barneswell, went down there with his vehicle, blocked the work, park in the middle of the road, crossway, and tell the man them have to stop work. Him can't continue the work.
A police them have to call.
Yes. Pernell Charles had to get down there with police for him to move his vehicle and the work.
That's right.
But I can tell you that it is something that really happens for real. But the problem that I think is happening, guys, as Jamaicans, we tend to love propaganda and bad news and negativity.
Me no cut your mischin, so you know see how they do phase 2 road. And say they fix road.
Where?
Over phase 2, over a scheme.
Oh, in Hayes?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. I'm not from Hayes. I'm from the constituency, but not Hayes.
Okay.
I'm from Palmer's Cross Division. But I know about that incident because I actually saw it. Okay. But if we think about it, guys, anything that has to do with negativity and bad news and corruption and all of them nonsense, that's what Jamaican people want to gravitate to. So it's not that we're not putting it out there. It's not that the JLP is not sending out the message. It's not that we're not saying that what the PNP is saying is nonsense, because we are. We are getting it out there. But people tend to love to gravitate to the garbage. So we just have to continue to do our part.
Also have to recognize also that the JLP has a government to run. The PNP don't. The PNP, to me, are equivalent to hardened criminals who are in prison and they have nothing on their hand but time. And that's what the luxury that we don't have. We have a country to run and a people to develop. And Prime Minister Holness made a commitment at his presentation in New York a few days ago And he said, within 5 years, Jamaica will be classified as a developed country, or a developing country, I think he said. In other words, we'll no longer be looked upon as a third world country, because we will achieve certain KPIs that will put us into that category. And that is why I'm telling you, folks, that the important conversation these days must surround our economy. Because the average man out the road, what me find difficult, Mr. Peng, is when the average man in your area start to tell you that the development in Santa Cruz, the development in Mandeville, the new highway coming from Kingston into Williamsfield, say that can't yam. When a man in Balaclava said to you that the highway from St. Thomas no mean nothing to him, we have to correct these notions because it is wrong. When a man in a silo division, Mr. Peng, tell you say, me no want to hear nothing about no economic growth, and me no want to hear nothing about no macroeconomic stability, because that can't put in a pot and go to supermarket. We have to have the conversation with them, because for too long, you know that there are labor rights now. I'm talking about MPs and councillors who are of that view, who share that view with constituents. Because when constituents come to them and they talk about perimeter road and all that stuff, and constituents say to them, the road can't eat, them actually back off and agree. Yes, there are several members of parliament and there are several councillors who would have echoed similar sentiments to what the constituents would have said in regard to development. We have to start having the conversation and connecting the reality that you will not have good food on the table. You won't have access to good health care. You will not have jobs. You won't be able to send your picnic to school, buy a new dress for Christmas, paint your house, right? Move out of the rent house and buy a house. You will not be able to achieve these things unless you have a viable and a strong economy. Any government that runs Jamaica and don't put the economy at the front and center of their decision is failing. And that is what has failed us over the years, especially that 18 and a half consecutive years under the PNP, where they did not put the economy as a priority. We have to get to that level. The TikTokers who out there on the platforms, we don't need to get into the bagga with nobody. We must have the discussion. Don't run with the PNP. When them come, invite them, talk to them, educate them. Because a lot of them, honestly, they are misled. Them don't know the truth.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning, everybody. Morning. Supporting what you say still 100%. Because in fact, we say would I use the informal economy or the informal sector to represent the so-called average man or woman in a society. And we want to give them a few examples of themselves, like the man on the roadside will sell the phone card, the juice, and then the walk-in seller them, and the little restaurant and them little business there. What we see in the communities, them are get more and more bars are being created in these communities, are built in these communities. And we want to understand, say, regardless of the situation we face as a country economic-wise, we have been in a better place than where we were before, and things will take its time to gradually get better under this continued Jamaica Labour Party, because the youths nowadays who are unskilled and untrained benefit mostly in terms of income from the informal sector. You know what I mean? Even the labourer without a survey ticket, it might benefit because of how booming the central economy is booming. Because at the end of the day, they rely upon one another. Because the informal economy contribute, I believe, 40% to GDP. You know what I mean? So that's for sure you say them feed off of each other, because from the people them the central government policies them, we are benefiting of the formal economy. It trickle down back in the informal economy, because by them people going to work daily at the informal economy, them support by stopping here at this little restaurant at the community or that little bar, they have a drink or that little shop there. So we have to break it down for the youth and make them understand, say, yo, them little benefits that them get are still part of the government's fiscal policies that creates these little sectors and the opportunities thereof. You know what I mean?
I have to go, guys. It's good talking to everybody, but I have to go. Chops, Kizzy, Shower, Trace, everybody big up yourselves. Shower liberates. Have a good day.
All right, Miss Chin, you too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but the conversation continues, guys. We have to still strengthen our resolve and don't shy away. And I say this to say, because we have to change the tone. Yes, there's a space and a time when people are going to cuss out who forget cuss out and carry on who carry on. There's a time for that. But I think if we were to give the poll numbers any credence at all, and we should not shy away, we should look at everything. But if we were to really look at the poll numbers and be critical about it, or just look at it in context, I think one of the things that
the core of our voters most of the time come from out of the informal sector. I mean, say most of the regular people vote. So therefore, what I try to emphasize is this, Chops. Prevalently, these are the same type of people who patrol TikTok. So kind of switch. So kind of switch.
Hold on a second, hold on a second. Let me just wrap the point. The point I'm trying to make is that based on the numbers, it is easy for us to conclude that a vast majority and the persons who are going to decide who run this country at the next election is going to be the persons who indicate that they are neither PNP nor JLP. No, we have a responsibility to tailor our conversation for those persons. We will have to say to those persons that the JLP fits into the mold that you are looking for. We have to do it. And I don't think the tribalist approach is going to get us anywhere. That's why I'm saying to you, we have a good foundation on which to build. Because when you engage a comrade and you ask them to give you specifics on just about any aspect of governance in Jamaica, most times, if not all, they are unable to do so because their argument has never been based on anything factual other than propaganda. So we have a
Please, my beg you, please. Sorry for interrupting. So as I said still, it go back to where you said earlier, back to the man in a silo who said the development of the roads or infrastructure in St. Thomas now benefit him. But then he's benefiting from the informal economy. So like I say, that's the reason why I say structure the conversation. Just as you are saying, tailor the conversation these days on TikTok, because we're very informative and we realize that the most cogent TikTok vloggings are done by laborers. So what I try to say, I realize a trend. So upon observing the trend, I realize the type of people that mostly patrol the apps and want to come to the box them are comments. So therefore, these people are the biggest beneficiaries from the informal economies. And therefore, we need to tailor most of these conversations breaking down how the man at the bar benefit, even though it's a bar owner, the restaurant, because at the end of the day, all these are happening because of good fiscal policies, because you wouldn't feel enticed to want to build a bar. No matter how slow the place be, you see people still build more bar, more restaurant. They're seeing circulating dollars in these communities. You call them the informal dollars. So therefore, I say keep stress on the average man earnings or benefits from the informal sector or sectors so they can understand. So some of the time the hospital thing when them not understand because them not in the immediate geography or not go benefit from it, still they understand say island wide everybody benefit from the government's fiscal policy, especially them in the informal sector where hardly trained and skilled and still a benefit even being unskilled and untrained. And them a benefit big time because enough hustlers are build house out of the informal sector. So show them so them a benefit some more. Me understand, but them not understand.
We say the same thing, my brother. There's
Choppa,
nothing different.
I
Choppa,
can jump in, Chops. Let me know when
Yeah,
I
go
can.
ahead.
can I say what I need to say before I'm just get off now?
Yeah, go ahead,
I've been
Shaw.
waiting for
Come and
almost
say it.
45 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, first I must say, take the time to acknowledge the host and our distinguished guests on the panel. No, I'm not going to add to this conversation this morning. I am trying to use this opportunity to implore all well-thinking Jamaicans that this conversation will reach their ears. All the people who usually say politics now have nothing to do with me now vote. Please let us not let the man that says when this was happening and we have one money and it could have buy 4 and now the same one money can buy 5, so we live in a life. Please let us not let this kind of people decide our fate in Jamaica. That's all I have to say this morning.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead, Chico.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right,
Good morning.
listening to the conversation, and there is a few things that I take away from the poll. The main thing for me, especially yesterday with the interview, was that with Nesta, was that the media is so complicit in feeding the Jamaican people what we call the steady diet of negativity, that when the good news is put out there, there's just a small amount of good news that is out there. There are so many things that is being done by the government that is posted on all of the social media pages. And when you hear somebody say, oh, nothing now go on, because the media does not push this information forward. I think it was Classic who said the other day that that he was comparing two news station, or two local station, TVJ and CVM. And when you look at TVJ, who I think has a bigger maybe a bigger platform and more viewerships, right? When you look at that, they carry the most negative thing about what is happening in Jamaica. But when you look on the flip side of CVM, it was more positive. So when we look at saying, okay, the people, they must say, oh, no, Nangwan, the country is not moving in the right direction, it is because the information that is being pushed out there is not getting the circulation that it needs to get. And that is one of the biggest problems that Jamaica is facing. Notice how we gravitate towards the negativity. Notice what trends on TikTok. The negativity is what trends. There is a video with the Prime Minister. I don't think it's a Prime Minister, but I think it's one with Port Royal. I think I was talking about it this morning. And it is saying that 400 billion was spent to correct the pipeline, and I don't see one circulation of that video. I was trying to download it so I could circulate it, but I'm just saying this should have been a part of the newspaper this morning. The people them say only thing that is left to be done is to say, okay, we're going to turn it on, we're going to test it, and they put in new infrastructures. Those are the things that are not being circulated. And I have said it again, and this is why sometimes when I come on here and I will say to people, say, hey, you can't behave like that and whatever. I have always said it. We have to utilize the space, the medium that we have to feed the right information. We have been doing it, but it's just that we need to calm down a little bit. I will go a little bit further to say this, guys, that I posted a video with Chuck on my YouTube yesterday. And there was a comment about the Prime Minister thieving some money or whatever, and somebody commented and said, and I feel so proud of this comment, somebody commented and the person said, if you were following the bloggers who are sensible or the bloggers who make sense, something along that line, then you would have known that that information is not true.
She never said the newspaper. She never said TVJ or CVM. She said the bloggers. You understand what I'm saying? And this made me so proud. So we, as all of as I think Gusto was saying it and others were saying it, say we have to take it down a notch. We have to be more orderly and disciplined and continue to share the information in the manner that we have been doing it. Yes, sometimes we get rowdy. Sometimes the debate goes over the top and whatever, because it's a debate, it happens, but we have to do it. And I have also said again, when you listen to the poll, comrades say nothing and go on, them can't equate to one good thing to Jamaica that is happening in Jamaica to the government. That tells you where we are. Our bases are riled up. Our bases will always vote JLPNP, but the people them that on the fence are go determine the election, yeah. And them are go determine it. Remember that.
That's why we target them Lashika, because them are benefit the most in the informal economy. So while them benefit from the
Chops,
growth
I
of the
think
formal
you're
economy.
needed somewhere here because they're trying to add people to the box and they can't. Sorry about that, Gusto.
Yeah, man.
Chops,
Them
no,
average man
in
they
a
watch
tea
out.
time,
Them
you need
same
to
man
hurry
there.
up and come back else the live will cut off. But well said, Lashika. Well
Yeah, man.
said.
Very well said.
And
Thank
big
you.
up yourself, Gusto. You know, yesterday
Thanks for the
when
birthday wishes, guys.
oh, it's your birthday, happy birthday. Yesterday when
More life
Happy
above
birthday,
I
earth.
happy birthday,
More
happy
life above
birthday.
earth.
Info never
Thank you,
having
thank
birthday
you.
yesterday too. Manara.
Yeah,
yes
man.
And I
Yesterday I
think
think
it
one
yesterday
was
was
your
I
mine.
basically hosted the very first live regarding the politics, because when I started TikTok, I used to just ignore it, listen to other people and stuff, pass by and stuff, but I didn't want to really, get into it because it's so toxic, and then every sometimes you need a little escape. So I was using TikTok mostly for my escape. But then I realized that if you don't push back, these people they just go further.
Oh, gee, sorry, Kizzy. Sorry,
Oh,
Kizzy.
okay.
Sorry, Kizzy. Sorry. I think
No
I
worries,
deleted
man.
by mistake
No
there.
worries.
Sorry.
Yeah, they just keep pushing and pushing. And then I remember I joined TikTok originally because I would be in the groups and they would be saying, oh, nobody know over TikTok can talk up for way, and the comrades then take over TikTok and appear misinformation over there, what have you. And I wanted to see for myself. So now here I am, because I genuinely love my country and I love my party. And sometimes when you guys are hosting, I'm in the comments. I don't like to come up in the box unless I want to contribute. Sometimes I stay in the comments because I want to give other persons a chance. But what I am saying is, if you bring up somebody and if you already suspect them to be a comrade, this is just my advice. I'm not telling nobody what to do. But if I happen to be hosting a live and you guys see me bring up somebody and the person is a comrade, once they're not disrespectful, once them not start use profanity, once them not start say certain things, leave them in the box, debate them, don't push them away, let them come and make a fool of themselves. And the thing too, what we need to do is engage real accounts. You see the one them we make fake accounts for control, just block those and cut off them access. Don't mute them, cut them off, because they come in the comments to cause a distraction. And if you bring them up in the box, they're not coming. And if so engage real accounts, right? Engage the people who are not hiding themselves. Engage the people who come and want to debate. But don't follow them up, because they're going to bring you down, distract you, and then the message is lost and they are winning again, because the traditional media is not promoting the party or the government, right? So it is left to us, and I have to say, a lot of you have been doing so well, especially the younger set. Cause me, according to Choppa, me all in this, me's a older man now, and Choppa is even older. So I'm glad for see the young people take it on, and I want to do it because most of us live overseas and we are fight for Jamaica like how we are benefit down there. You understand? But we plan for come retire in our country and we want the best. So big up on yourself. I'm going to jump out of the box, or I'm going to mute again and give somebody else an opportunity. But well said, Lashika. Well said. I also believe we cannot depend solely on the independents or the swing voters. We have to target and engage the youth vote. That is where I believe it will make a difference. Not the swing
Easy, I
voters,
want to say
the
something
youth
here before
vote.
you leave, please.
Okay.
Pardon me, gentlemen and plenty ladies. Good morning.
Morning.
Easy. The issue is not debating these guys. Well, let me talk for me personally. The issue is I do not believe in giving them my platform to spew literacy, nonsense, and blatant lies. I just cannot tolerate that. My tolerance level for allowing you see, every talk them talk, regardless you rebutting, there are some people outside there that is listening to them and taking their side of the story
But
as opposed to yours.
you have to speak, you have to stay on it. And eventually, you know what they will do, as Choppa said, when him asks them certain questions, they run. Eventually they will jump the box.
All right,
Remember you have the power, you can mute them mic.
And let me say this. They are hell bent on being disrespectful when they are not winning the argument.
But then don't bring them up. Don't bring them up. If they can't once they start being disrespectful, but sometimes I've seen it a couple times. I've seen it a couple times. Remember, them already the right nonsense in the comments, I saw them get your attention, right? So when you bring them up, you can't expect them to come with sense.
All right, and I really just want to finish here. And
okay.
They are hell bent on being disrespectful, and they have a style, a particular strategy. Them take over your life. And them attack more than you, and you can't get a word in, and nobody can get a word in, and then if you try to slow them down, them get this. It's a strategy. It's a thing with them plan. You know what them have a next style, I don't know. Them a broadcast our live. These people.
Let them broadcast that not supposed to disturb we know we attack facts.
No, it is not. But they're doing it in a negative light.
Well, let them do it. That'll feed them. Listen, first of all, we have to strike the balance. And we I don't know who is echoing. Is it me?
I am not shutting down what you're saying by any means, I'm just saying, I personally, may talk for me, not talk for nobody else. Right? Because me kind of, over time I've been telling people, say, don't entertain them, because I find myself in a bad books with a lot of the people, they want me in them live now, because we think up now. Me kind of have a stance against that. So when we find out over time now, so watch out. It's not your platform, loaded people. Make them entertain who they want to entertain. But for me personally, not entertain them. You know why? Them not a respect. They're very disrespectful.
The other one tables this motion.
So people mute your mic if you're not speaking. Yeah, so general, you are correct. But I guess everybody have a different tolerance level. Because remember, those of you who know me, can be very nasty, very nasty. And I also have a low tolerance level. But you see, if two away shout, it will look like madman. And if somebody come and be disrespectful and go on with themselves and you're asking them straight questions and they can't answer, eventually only the fools like them will prove themselves.
I have a very effective way of reaching the mass. Yeah? You know what me do nowadays? Me just do my little regular videos them with me normally do my little thing and my little stitching and duetting and highlight people's views and other people's thoughts and frame of mind and political views, right? Or you know what I mean? Or commentary, right? And me reach people like that. Because you see when me look on the views sometimes I know me I reach people because every time you see 10,000 or 1,000 or 3,000, you multiply that by 10. So